Welcome to another episode of rawradianthealth.com, and I'm Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So it's Monday, it's the beginning of the week, and today I'm going to share with you guys my top 5 tips to boosting your mood. Pretty much, I realized over the weekend, I was talking to my mother, and I realized this is the first winter I have not had seasonal depression. Okay, normally every single winter, say starting probably around November, all the way to April, I'm in gloom and doom. It's every year, it just hits me. It's from living in the northern hemisphere up in Montreal, Canada. We've got very short days, not much sunlight, very cold, and I get very, very depressed. And that's what comes with the winter for me. And it got so bad that years ago, I actually moved to Australia and Asia for a couple of years just to escape the winter blues because I couldn't deal with it anymore. And it was a really good break actually for me to go for a few years without having to have, you know, half the year being happy and then half the year being just terribly depressed. And I noticed last year when I was on raw food diet over the winter that I was feeling much better, but I did end up leaving halfway through the winter to Hawaii for a break, and this is the first year where I'm going through the entire winter here, and I'm doing really, really well. I have not had no depression, nothing, and every day I've been really quite happy. My mood has just been really even, you know, not feeling like too high and not feeling too low, but just really keeping things just at a really, really good balance. And so I want to share with you guys my tips. These are kind of my own guideline to ensure my happiness and for me to just feel like life is good, okay? So my first tip would be to make sure that you're outside every day. Every single day, no matter what. Here in Montreal, Canada, when it goes down to like minus 35 degrees, I make sure every single day, without an exception, I go outside for about an hour a day, minimum, for a walk. And it's really important to be out in the sunshine. Even though you might be like me, that's all like bundled up and barely any skin is being exposed to the sun, just seeing the sun, being out in the bright light, makes a huge difference. And also the oxygenated air. We need fresh air. Air and sunshine actually give us energy and fuel. Okay, our bodies, we need it. We need that to be healthy. And the wintertime, it's difficult because the days can be very short, and a lot of times we don't want to go outside because it's so cold. But it's really, once you do go outside and you come back in afterwards, you feel really good. And you're like, you know, I'm really happy I went outside because I feel refreshed now. I'm not inside suffocating in recycled air all day long. So super important to get outside and get that fresh air and sunshine. Make sure to go at that peak hour of the day where the sun is bright, because especially if you're in the winter and you're up in the northern part of the hemisphere, like, get out. I'd say the best hours to be outside in the winter time is between 10 and 1 o'clock. So take advantage of that time if you can to really get outside, or even, you know, if you're at work, take a 15-minute break to just be outside, you know, instead of like hanging out in the office building, okay? Next tip I have is exercise. Wintertime is the perfect time to be exercising. Get off your butt and get into shape, because this not only helps your body and not only helps prepare you for the summer coming up, but it's also great for your mood. It's gonna, you know, it builds up the endorphins, gets going, and you feel happy after exercising, and you feel good, and it builds your self-confidence, and it just improves your circulation, everything. Exercise is fantastic, and it's so important in the winter because it's time of the year where we're the laziest, okay? We don't want to go outside, and we have every excuse in the world not to go to the gym, you know? and we don't really move around as much as we do, like, compared to like the spring and the summer when we feel more free to go inside and outside and do things. So really push yourself, okay? And because once you get in the routine of it and once you get in that rhythm, you won't want to let it go, but you've got to get into that rhythm, you know, and it means forcing yourself the first few days, but do it. And I suggest getting about an hour of exercise every day, 6 days a week, you know, and get that goal that by springtime when we start wearing less and less layers, that you look good, you know, that you're buff, that you got a hot body, and by the summertime, like, you know, you're ready to get into your bathing suit. No problem, okay? So take advantage of the time now. This is the time when we have that little extra time because we're not really doing very much, okay? Now, number 3 is green juices. Green juices are known to stimulate serotonin. Serotonin is what makes us feel good, okay? And green juices are fantastic for seasonal depression. Green juices, the more you can have, the better. I suggest for anyone that's dealing with like severe depression, get yourself onto actually having green juice every 2 hours. Have a cup every 2 hours, and that will help to level out your mood. My suggestion would be too is to get off of any kind of sugar stimulants like caffeine, and when I mean sugar, I mean processed sugar. I don't mean fruit. Fruit is great. Fruit is wonderful. Have as much fruit as you want. But processed sugar, you know, white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, all that stuff is just bad, and that's going to really bad on your mood. That's like the anti-mood. It just brings you down. It brings you high, low, high, low, high, low. Okay, and then after a while you just burn out on it. So you got to get off the sugar, got to get off the caffeine, got to get off of alcohol as well, okay? And got to replace that with the green juices, and as much green juice as possible. My next suggestion too is to really bump up eating the greens. You know, work up to having 2 pounds of greens a day, because that too is what's going to really balance out your mood. This winter I've been eating about 2 to 3 pounds of greens and sprouts a day. And what I mean by greens is like green leafy vegetables like spinach and kale and romaine lettuce and green vegetables, okay? The more of that you have, the better, because it really helps to balance out the mood, build up your blood, clean you out, and just keep things kind of steady. You know, for me, the main grounder has always been greens. And having so many greens this winter, I know that's the reason why I've had no depression. I know it's the reason why I don't even feel the cold. Like, it's minus 35 degrees outside, and normally I'm always so cold. And this winter, no. I'm like, I'm fine outside. I wear like a little t-shirt underneath the jacket, and I'm fine. You know, I'm not even wearing like long johns, nothing. Last winter, I was like, you know, wearing a good 5 layers of clothing everywhere, always. This winter, no, you know, and I know it's because my body is just like, it's able to adjust, and that's how it should be, okay? So my next suggestion is, this is suggestion number 4, is no more late night eating. Late night eating contributes to feeling lousy the next day, okay? That's it. That if you don't eat late at night, you'll feel light in the morning. You'll feel happy in the morning. You'll feel clear. You'll feel alert. And you'll feel inspired for the rest of the day. You know, our day is determined by our morning. And if you wake up still digesting what you were eating the night before, or not sleeping properly because you were digesting all this food from eating late at night, it affects you first thing in the morning. And if you start off the day in the dumps, the rest of your day is in the dumps. So really, it's determined by the night before. That really get that good sleep and don't eat late, okay? And then my last suggestion is that when you're depressed, call up someone else and ask them how they're doing, because a lot of times we get stuck in our own stuff, and just calling up someone else and seeing how they're doing can just get us out of our own world and into someone else's. Okay, so those are my suggestions for the day, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. Bye.